disrupted.
America that I fuck.
Weird thing to happen. So Bill Maher is on the media rounds again. He just released a new book, apparently, and he's about to get his ass handed to him once again, folks. Once again, he is going to get the slap of reality, knock the crap out of him, because of the absurd claims that he is promoting around and the fact that ordinary people, from comedians like Bill Burr to Roseanne Barr to other people that have confronted him and in a genuine way to say that, Bill, you are a propagandized idiot, which he is. He's been on HBO for many years now. He's comfortable in his little bubble. And just to show how comfortable he is in a paranoid, propagandized bubble, here he is on Megyn Kelly's show, and Megyn Kelly is about to decimate on Bill Maher's ramble and give him the little dose of reality that apparently Bill Maher has never injected yet. And I give Bill Maher credit to the fact that, you know, he was at least on point when it came to COVID and was able to turn around on that. But everything else, holy crap. And you're about to see it right in the open, folks.
I think on January 20th, 2025, he'll show up at the White House, whether he's invited or not. And I don't think that's going to be good.
He's gonna bomb in if he lost?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Bomb is a word I wouldn't even throw around lightly.
Oh, stop it. He's not going to do that.
Right. Like there was never an attack on the Capitol, Megyn.
Oh, I hear you. But he's not going to...
An attack on the Capitol. An attack. He's referring to January 6th. The charade of the insurrection that never came to be, as an attack that Donald Trump's going to quote his words, bomb in to the White House and take over the presidency. This is who Bill Maher is, folks. This is the paranoid bubble that he's in. This is the propagandized at work, ladies and gentlemen, that an orange buffoon game show host that never really wanted to be president in the first place, that people rolled the dice on because they were so sick and tired of the establishment, which is why we have Donald Trump as a president in 2016, is somehow going to come back in a jumpsuit, storm in the Capitol, and all hell's going to break loose. Just like how he told Robert De Niro that, oh, if Trump gets reelected, I might not have a career anymore and you might not be able to have movies again. Ah! All hell's going to break loose. And Megyn Kelly's laughing at him, which she should. Absolutely. I would laugh at him too. How stupid this sounds.
Never
show up at the inauguration.
Like they didn't show up at the Capitol and break windows and knock down doors and kill cops and chase.
They didn't do that.
By the way, the people that they were showing on mainstream media that were breaking the windows were FBI informants. They were undercover cops. They were people within the feds to cause havoc. And that was obvious right away because the fact that the people that were smashing the windows, while everyone else was, open face, they were the most covered. They had masks on. They didn't want to expose any part of their body. And they purposely broke the windows and then escaped. And they have done this numerous times before because FBI informants get planted in to these protests to cause riots and havoc to discredit the protest. We've seen this with Black Lives Matter. We have seen this with LGBTQ. We've seen this with, people that are supposed Nazis storming into festivals and whatnot. Those supposed Nazis are actually federal agents that want to convince you that there's a bunch of Nazis in your neighborhood. And who are you going to call?
They didn't break windows,
they didn't
knock
kill
down
cops.
They of course did.
No, they didn't.
Who did? They died of natural causes.
That's how you know you're sure of the argument they say. Of course they did. Of course they did. I seen it on time. Of course they did. Rachel Maddow told me to. Of course they did. But the autopsy didn't say it. But of course I was told that. This is how propaganda warps your mind, folks. This is Trump derangement syndrome mixed with mainstream media propaganda and fear-mongering and just being a chauvinistic, millionaire on HBO for many years now. This is all getting into his head now. That basic understanding of certain events has now completely lost on Bill Maher. This is, again, when Bill Burr told him that you're an idiot and stop talking like a general because you don't know anything about this war, Bill Burr was absolutely on point with that. Because Bill Maher has no idea what this war is about. He has no idea why the college kids are protesting. He has no idea. But he knows it's fun to ridicule them because it'll give him, a new check at HBO. He doesn't care. He does not care. He lives in his comfortable bubble. That's why he tells you when the economy's so great. But have you seen the homelessness in LA? Of course not. Do you not drive by the 10 cities? Of course not. I go from my studio to the penthouse. Of course not. And then I fire the assistants when I don't get into those Oscar orgies I hear about. Here we go.
That day?
Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. The medical examiner has determined that he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes.
Yeah, nobody died that day.
Cops.
No, not true. Who?
Okay.
Who?
Oh, I don't remember the names.
They didn't. There was Brian.
Oh, there you go. That's Bill Maher's tell right there. That's Bill Maher's tell. Like literally, that's the reality slap right there that they showed the news clip of the autopsy reporting that they died of natural causes, and he still goes, "Well, cops were killed." Well, who were the names of cops? I don't remember the names. Well, he just said cops were killed, and this is a deadly insurrection. Wouldn't you think you would know the names of the cops? By the way, there was a protester that was shot, but no one ever mentions that. Just saying. Just saying. There was actually someone that got shot. A protester got shot by a Capitol police officer, but no one ever mentions that because it doesn't fit the narrative. Oh, my God.
Brian Sicknick, who died later after the fact.
So, Brian Sicknick, that's when they did that phony funeral. They did like a statewide propagandized corporate retreat for, the police officer, and they congratulated him. They did specials on MSNBC. Again, to promote the narrative that these were havoc buffoons, Second Amendment gun nuts that didn't have the guns to begin with. And if they were trying to do an insurrection, take down democracy, they did an absolute shitty job at it because they failed at every point and turn, which is what Nancy Pelosi's daughter even said in office while this was going on. And Bill Maher's just soaking into that propaganda, just soaking in like bread, just like everything that, Rachel Maddow told him and what he read in the New York Times doesn't have any skepticism whatsoever. Just takes it as in, well, the cops died there. It was deadly. And, Trump's going to, go in and, do things. And all Megyn Kelly has to do is just show him a clip there and be like, well. And by the way, Bill, here's a little fun fact for you. Because apparently you don't know a lot of facts. If this was a deadly insurrection, would they be able to walk around the Capitol and take selfies with police officers? If this is the deadly insurrection that has killed an enormous amount of cops that you can't even name, would they be allowed to walk around? Look at it. They're taking selfies. They're walking around, they're touring around. Hey, there's that guy. Hey, there's that. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for your service. Such a heinous, toxic, violent environment right there, full of MAGA supporters and Trumpers that are going to bomb in and destroy democracy and the institution of value. And the fact that they were just walking in like tour guides, they walked through down the halls, they escorted the people through the parts of the building, they escorted them through the Senate. And they were able to walk out. They were able to walk out like they were just exiting a movie theater. Again, if this is a deadly insurrection and they want to arrest people for criminal acts, for breaking into the people's house, why did they not arrest them at the scene of the crime? Why did they wait a week later to try to track down people to arrest them? Why wouldn't they just arrest them at the scene of the crime? They had the cops there. They clearly had a plan that just never got, they never did it. And now, so now Bill Maher is going to mention about how Trump is an illegitimate president, which is something coined a phrase by Hillary Clinton and the rest of the establishment tried to do in 2016. Well, he's not a registered politician. He's not a certified president. We didn't actually vote for him. It was all Russia. And Megyn Kelly is going to say to Bill Maher, well, that's what Hillary Clinton said. Hillary Clinton always claimed that Donald Trump was an illegitimate president, which, again, was her creation to allow him to get into politics. The Pied Piper strategy that Hillary Clinton told Donald Trump to run for president. So, watch this.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me.
And by the way, this is all part of the election denial. That Donald Trump is denying the election, denying 2020, all this stuff. Election denial has been around for as long as we've known about elections. They denied elections in the early 2000s. They denied elections in 2008. They denied 2012. They denied 2016. So it's not something new that Donald Trump decided to deny the election, which he didn't. Joe Biden is president. He allowed the peaceful transfer of power, despite what Bill Maher claims. And it was people like Hillary Clinton who was denial of the 2016 election, and so much so that they had to conspire a false story and lied to the entire nation about how Russia fabricated a hoax that Russia was aligned with the Trump campaign to overthrow democracy. So, anyway, here's this.
Exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
Okay. I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous.
Oh, but it's different because Hillary Clinton, conceded it, and Donald Trump did apparently not concede it. Again, who's president right now? Who is president right now, Bill? Who right now is in control of the country? Joe Biden. Debatable if he's actually running the country, but Joe Biden is the president. There was a peaceful transfer of power. Despite the claims that you believe that somehow Donald Trump is going to swarm in and he's never going to leave office, look at what's happening right now in regards to this election. The fact that Joe Biden is attacking not only Donald Trump, but RFK Jr. from partaking in debates. He's attacking the Kennedy campaign. He's attacking other campaigns. You don't think there's a conspiracy right now that they're trying to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, two of the worst people in politics, that can't even coherently finish a sentence, to continue to lead the country because they're easily manipulative. They're easily controlled by the globalist regime to take over the nation? You don't think there's already that happening in place? But you claim that Trump is the one that's in complete denial. Not the person that cultivated an entire scheme and had her friends in the FBI and the media complex an entire conspiracy to lie to the public. And none of them ever got arrested. None of them are in a fraud suit right now. But we have multiple jurisdictions trying to pin Trump up with as many criminal charges as possible. You don't think that's a little suspicious, Bill? You don't think that's a little bit too on the nose that they're trying to silence out their political opponents? But of course, he's never going to figure that out because this is a brainless billionaire talk show host and comedian. And I use that term lightly because, face it, he's not as much a comedian anymore as he was on political incorrectness or whatever that show was before. Now he's just going around promoting a book and just yelling about stuff he's heard on TV. Oh, I read in the paper. I read in this. People thought of him as an outsider. People think of him as some sort of, voice for outside to speculate on the mainstream media. That was kind of the point of like these late night shows. But then you realize they're the exact talking heads that MSNBC and CNN do on an average day. People like him or Colbert or John Oliver, they're just repeating the same garbage you hear on cable news. They're not skeptics. They're not comics. They're just repeaters. You're just paying $12.95 a month to listen to this schmuck. Because somehow he's different on HBO. But repeating the exact same garbage they hear anywhere else in the mainstream media, to the point that Bill Burr and Megyn Kelly now have to give you a dose of reality by showing you just a couple of clips that exposes and destroys the entire narrative that you were propelled to say because you've been cultivated in the propaganda. It's just, it's amazing that Bill Maher really is exposing who he really is. The mindset of what he is. I mean, again, this is the same guy who said that Amy Klobuchar was a good option. I'm looking hard at Amy Klobuchar, the lady who's from the Midwest and is tolling at 0% right now. I'm looking very hard at her. Not an actual politician that works for the people and by the people. I'm looking hard at a tool bag for the corporatocracy. And that's what Bill Maher is. He's a tool for the corporatocracy of HBO and the subordinates that just repeat garbage for its viewers to soak in the propaganda, to sound exactly like Bill Maher. But January 6th, they killed cops. Election denial. Might as well just put a straitjacket on him.